Welcome back to Math. Section 5 is about positive and negative numbers. We'll talk about addition and subtraction using a number line, and addition and subtraction with rules. We'll also talk about multiplication and division. A number line is a great way to visualize the positive and negative numbers. A number line is a line that has the numbers spaced along it at regular intervals that can go forever to the right and forever to the left. This one starts with 0 in the middle. The positive numbers go to the right. Notice the positive numbers that we don't write the plus sign. If we don't, we just assume that it's a positive number. But the negative numbers go to the left. When we add and subtract positive and negative numbers, we're moving along a number line. Okay? We already know what it means to add, for example, 2 plus 1. That would be starting at 2, we move one direction in a positive way, and we get to 3, because 2 plus 1 space more is 3. So the general idea here is that when we add a positive number, we move right. It doesn't matter where we start, we're adding a positive, we move to the right. So for example, negative 5 plus 4, that means we start at negative 5. That's the first number. We're adding 4. That means we're going to move to the right. We're adding a positive, 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to, or we land on, negative 1. So negative 5 plus a positive 4 equals negative 1. Also, when we add a negative, we move left. Again, it doesn't matter where we start. We start at the first number. So negative 1 plus a negative 3. We're adding a negative number, so we're moving left. We're adding negative 3, so we're going to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 spaces to the left, and we're at negative 4. So negative 1 plus negative 3 equals negative 4. Subtracting a positive is a move to the left also. So in this example, we're starting at positive 1, and we're subtracting a positive 3. That means to move left 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. We get to negative 2. So 1 minus 3 equals negative 2. And finally, subtracting a negative means to move right. So we're going to start here at positive 4, subtract a negative 1. Subtracting a negative is moving to the right. How many spaces? 1. So 4 minus negative 1 equals positive 5. So the first number is where we start. The second number is how many spaces we move. And then the positive and negative sign of this number tells us whether to move right or left. Notice that adding a positive is moving right and subtracting a negative is moving right. So it's really like doing the same thing. Another way to add positive and negative numbers is using a standard set of rules. And again, these rules work because subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. Okay, here's the rule. When we do addition and the signs are the same, the rule is to add the two numbers together and keep the sign. Okay, let's do an example. This is negative 3 plus negative 5. The signs are the same, and we're doing addition. So first, without worrying about what the positive and negative signs are, just add 3 and 5, and we get 8. And then we decide, what's the sign of 8? Well, they were both negative to start with, so we're going to keep that negative sign. It's still negative. You know this too. If we had added a positive 3 and a positive 5, we would have gotten a positive 8. Okay, the next rule, addition when the signs are different. The rule there is that you subtract the two numbers, but keep the sign of the larger number. Okay, here's an example. Negative 3 plus positive 5. Okay, we're doing addition. The signs are different, negative and positive. So the rule is you just don't worry about the signs for a minute. Find the difference between the two. 5 and 3 have a difference of 2. They're 2 apart on a number line, or 5 minus 3 equals 2, right? Then decide what the sign is. We keep the sign of the larger number. 5 in this case is larger than 3. 5 was positive, so our final answer is positive. Alright, the rule is the same when it comes to subtraction, whether the signs are same or different, but we'll do an example of each one. The rule is, first thing you do is change from subtraction to addition, then change the sign of the number on the right, and then follow the addition rules. Okay, so negative 3 minus negative 5. The first thing we do is change that subtraction to addition. The next thing we do is change the sign of the number on the right. So instead of this being a negative 5, it's now a positive 5. So negative 3 minus negative 5 becomes negative 3 plus 5. Notice that's the same as this example right here, and the answer is 2. Here's one where the signs are different. Negative 3 minus positive 5. We change the subtraction to addition, change the sign of the second number from whatever it is to the opposite. In this case, positive becomes negative. And now we have negative 3 minus positive 5 becomes negative 3 plus negative 5. That's the same as we did up here. The answer is still negative 8. So which method is better? Well, using a combination of both methods is probably the best bet. The number line is a great way to visualize, and it's a great way to think of the problem. Like, okay, I'm on the right of the 0 and I'm moving left, and it'll help you be sure that you're getting the right answer. But the rules really help too, to be sure that you can do this, especially when you get into larger numbers. The number line is great when the numbers are small, like 3s and 5s, but when you get into bigger numbers, it's a lot harder to have a number line. So now let's think about multiplication and division with positive and negative numbers. The rules here are pretty simple. When you're multiplying or dividing numbers and their signs are the same, your answer will be positive. When their signs are different, the answer will be negative. So, whether it's multiplication or division, signs are the same, answer is positive. Signs are different, answer is negative. Here are some examples. A negative 3 times negative 5. Well, the signs are the same. We know that 3 times 5 is 15. The signs are the same, so the answer is positive. Now you would already have known that positive 3 times positive 5 is also positive 15. So that makes sense. Negative 3 times negative 5 is also positive 15. But multiplication when the signs are different, this time it's negative 3 times a positive 5. Now the answer is negative. It's still a 15 because 3 times 5 is 15. But then you go back and decide, well, one was negative and one was positive, so my answer is negative. Here's a division problem where the signs are different. Negative 8 divided by negative 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so the signs were the same. Answer is positive. Same here, we've just changed 1 to be a positive. Negative 8 divided by positive 2. 8 divided by 2 is still 4, but the signs were different, so the answer is negative.